mess up. But my favorite book in the Bible would have to be Luke, and my favorite message is on the Prodigal Son. It just gives me so much hope and joy in my life because it just knows that no matter how bad I mess up or I may fall away from God, He'll always be loving me and I'll always love and follow for Him. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. It's Luke 15, 11 through 32. The younger son told his father, I want
Luke
15, 11 through 32. Verses 11 through 42.
Thank you.
Alright, no problem. The younger son told his father, I want my share of my estate now, before you die. So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. A few days later, this young son packed up all of his belongings and moved to a distant land. And there he wasted all of his money on wild living and a luxury lifestyle. About this time, his money ran out. A great famine swept over through the land, and he began to starve. He then asked a local farmer to hire him to feed the pigs. Then he began to be so hungry and ran out of food that even the stuff the pigs were eating looked really good. Then the young man finally came to his senses and told himself, my father has servants that work for him that eat way more than I am and have plenty of food to share. I am dying of hunger. I will go back home to my father and say, I have sinned against both heaven and you, and I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Please take me as a servant. So he returned home. His father saw him from a long distance off, and he saw him became full much joy inside his heart. He was like, my son is back. So he ran up to him, and his son said, Father, I have sinned against both heaven and you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But his father said to the servants, quick, bring the finest robe in the house, put it on him. Get a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and kill the calf we have been fattening. We must celebrate a feast. This son of mine was once dead, but now is alive again and found. Every time I read that message, I just find something new that comes out of it. I never get tired of reading it because, I don't know why. A lot of us must know the story, but we don't actually take into consideration how powerful that message is. I got a pleasure to tell to somebody before, and they just started crying because they had no idea, they never heard of it before, and they started crying. And after that, I was like, man, I wish I can get that same experience again. To cry for that story, Jesus, that's amazing. One of the main points I've gotten out of it would be, myself, honestly, I've fallen away from God a number of times. I've done it this year a couple of times as I speak. But that doesn't mean I cannot preach or I can do any of this. It just means that I'm a simple human that keeps on falling into sin again. But God is always going to take you back in. No matter how many times you fall or run away from God, it can be like your thousandth time you coming back and forth to God. But He's never going to deny you. He'll always be right there at the door. Whenever you come knocking, He's going to be right there with open arms, ready to accept you. One of the things I just realized inside the message would be, when the father came up to his son, he didn't ask no questions. He didn't ask him, where did my money go? Where have you been? Why did you leave me? Why did you choose that lifestyle? No questions. He kind of just hugged him and was filled with so much joy. He was happy that his son came back to him. And I feel the same way God would do that too. God does not have strings attached to us whenever we come back to Him. He isn't like, but you gotta do all these things. You gotta tell me why you did that. No, He doesn't do that. He just kind of accepts you into His life, and you're right there. He's a loving Father, and that's just who He is. His love is so incomprehensible that I don't understand it yet. Like the stuff He does for me, the stuff He did in my life, and probably your life too. He's had many things that He's done, and just think about that. His love for us, we'll never understand that. Not something that crazy. This message He told to His disciples because He wanted to remind them of His love for them, and no matter how many times they may disobey Him or leave Him, look it, this is who I am. I will go, we're like that sheep. He's our shepherd. This is my favorite analogy is, if one of us goes lost and we fall into sin, God will leave the rest of us to go find Him. To go find that one lost person. You could be that one lost person right now, but you don't want to admit it. Like, yeah, God, I'm kind of living this double-faced life. Like at school, I could be running around partying with my friends, and then cussing, do whatever you want, whatever it may be. It could be like, if you don't like truly like love the way you look, you may try to fix it nonstop going after that. And then the next day you go to church or Bible, and then you over there, oh yeah, no, I look fine, I'm happy, nothing's wrong with me, I'm just a perfect human. But realize that you're not, I'm not, nobody is. That's just things I realize. And it may not go like, we may not take all of our family's money and just leave. We can't do that. That's just the new age, but there's different stuff we can do now. And we just gotta we have to realize that when we come to God and ask Him for forgiveness, He's not gonna deny us. That's just something He won't do. And that's just something I really love, that He's our loving Father, no matter what. Just think about that for a second. No matter what I do. Who else can you say that about? Like, I'm gonna love that person no matter what. Do you truly mean that? I don't know if I can say that to somebody right now. But God can. That's one of the reasons why I love this message. It's a little short, but it's all I have for today, and I'm really happy I got to share it.
It's beautiful.